Okay guys, what we're going to do in this first phase of the CET target, we're going to talk about three things. We're going to break down three chunks of information: kinesthetic alignment, rhythm, and then we're going to break down the individual processes of the body, the eyes, and the trigger finger. Okay? The first one, kinesthetic alignment. We call this the acclimation drill because we're acclimating to a lot of different things: our body, our position in space, proprioception. We're looking at how our fine-tune adjustments can make a really big difference. Now, this also comes with a lot of controversy as well, because a lot of people don't ever hear natural point of aim as it pertains to a handgun. They typically think of it just being with a rifle laying in the prone, shooting at distance. We always have a natural point of aim. I have a natural point of aim right now as I stand and talk. So you got to think about that from a defensive tactics standpoint. If you're a martial artist, you know what I'm talking about. Everything is about your base and angles, right? Because gunfights or fights in general are won by good judgment, good angles, and then using the right tactics. So these angles are important here, and so that's what we're trying to get down, because a lot of people will say, well, you're never going to get a good stance in a gunfight. I kind of call BS on that, because if you have a unconscious proprioception and you work the little tiny things like this in your training every single day, what do you think is going to happen when you do get into that gunfight? It's going to hopefully come out, but you got to practice it. That's the thing. Okay. So with kinesthetic alignment, when you're standing up, it can be a little bit weird at first, because what we're going to do with this is close our eyes and shoot the gun. Now we're going to have plenty of safety distance here. It's only about 3 meters or 3 yards that you need to stand off the target. So I'm going to be about right here. Okay. So what we're doing is we're looking at our feet. First thing we need to have is a good stance. So you can reference some of our other videos out there on stance, but we want to have a good forward lean. All right, we don't want to be bent at all, because anytime we bend, we break our core axis and we don't have good leverage in our stance anymore. Okay, so we have to have that good stance. Now what you're going to see is I'm going to do little tiny micro adjustments with my feet. The objective is to keep our hips on target at all times. Okay, so now as I set up for this, all you need to do is take your weapon, extend it out, but as you do that, close your eyes. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to extend the gun out on target with my normal stance. And I'm going to open my eyes. Now what I'm noticing is I'm about 2 inches to the right. So my front sight's sitting about right here off of this kinesthetic alignment line. So I want to move my feet just a little bit to get that back on target. Okay, so if you watch this micro adjustment, all I'm going to do is either tweak the left foot outward or the right foot inward. Okay, that's all you need to do. I'll extend out again with my eyes closed, open my eyes, and I'm a little better, but I'm going to adjust it just a little bit more, just like we would do with a rifle in the prone. We want to move our whole body. Close my eyes, open my eyes, and that feels pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the firing process. I'm going to extend the gun on target. I'm going to get a good sight picture, so I want to see a good clear front sight on that black line. And then I'm going to close my eyes and start firing at a kind of a medium pace, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to open my eyes and confirm. So this is what it looks like. So I'm going to tell myself, extend, clear front sight, close your eyes and go. Now I'm going to open my eyes. And now I've got to guess. Now if you got a buddy, this is really good to have a partner here that can watch what you're doing. And I can say, well, I think my first round was right here. I think, right? And then the rest of my group started to work up in this little C group right here. Now sometimes you'll see an extreme walk if this is the first time you do it. You might have 6, 8 inches of walk to the left or right or up or down. What the objective is can you actually feel yourself coming back to the center point, or could you literally feel yourself drifting while your eyes are closed? So what this helps with is when you have the problem of combat stress, right? When your eyes start to take in a lot of information, you get an increased blood flow to your center field of vision. You have the muscles in your eyes starting to contract and change what you see to where you can't focus on a clear front sight. Hopefully you can see how this will help you in that. It'll help you in your stance. And it'll help you with that kind of, maybe I'll walk up on somebody and I can identify their kinesthetic alignment, and I can actually position myself on them to where I have the mechanical advantage and they don't. So keep that in mind, guys. Give us a shot and keep working at it. Take some time to get it down, but that's how kinesthetic alignment works, okay? Next, we're going to go into rhythm drill. So the rhythm drill, what we're working on there is neuromuscular timing. Now, a lot of big words, right? But basically what that means is we love rhythm, okay? We love music. Our heart beats in rhythm. We walk in rhythm. We talk in a rhythm. We breathe in a rhythm. We run in a rhythm. We do a lot of things in rhythm in our life. So what we're going to do is just simply apply this neuromuscular timing to our gun and trigger finger, okay? Now we're going to do this in 4 different speeds. We're going to start very slow, and we're going to ramp up our speed as we go. So I'll show you guys how that works as well. The objective for this is 2 key rules to remember. Count out loud. You have to count out loud because you have to be your own metronome. Just like a musician or a drummer has to set that cadence for the band or for themselves. That's what I want to do here. So I really want to set that cadence in stone. Okay, so the first cadence is going to be 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. So I'm going to extend out and start that cadence. 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000. All right, so you can hear the counting out loud really helps me with the metronome. The next key that you need to remember is once you start touching the trigger, never take your finger off the face of the trigger, okay? So a lot of people will tell you, hey, slap reset or press reset, and there's a lot of different schools of thought out there, but what we find when we measure this in our actual labs, and we find that through neuromuscular timing and through psychologists and a lot of things that we find that the rhythm is the best thing to do because that's what we do every single day, okay? Because once you get to a faster speed, let's say if I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which will be my last cadence here, it has to be in perfect rhythm. So when you shoot slow, you can kind of get away with whatever you want. But when we get in that gunfight, we got to shoot fast. That's when we want perfect trigger control working for us, and it has to be subconscious. This is the best drill to make it subconscious. Next cadence is going to be and 1. So and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Now you can see the speed's ramping up a little bit. But when I press the trigger, I simply reset to just the click and I press again. I don't want to start coming off because the more my finger has to move, the more distance you're traveling, right? So the more distance equates to time. The longer it's going to take you to get those simple rounds to get off. Next cadence, what you're going to do here is do a quick tack reload. And we're going to go into the next cadence. Now you can stay on the same circle or you can bounce to the next circle if you want to. I'll just stay on the same. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm really trying to gauge, is my rhythm perfect, right? No, I can tell 2 to 3 was off a little bit there for me. Whether it was in reality or not, my head's saying it's off, so I'm going to do that again, okay? And that's how I'd work this drill. Last cadence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where the trigger control really starts getting messed up. So you got to really focus on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we're also, as you can see, testing that natural point aim that I set up earlier. I'm staying straight. I'm not drifting to the left or right at any point in time. And you can see throughout all 20 of those rounds, that's a pretty tight group right there. So the more you do this drill, the more you'll see your accuracy really start to increase as well. Okay. Okay guys, now that I've done kinesthetic alignment and some rhythm, now I'm going to take the time to break down the 3 core main elements of what we consider fundamentals of shooting. Now if you look in textbooks out there, you'll see 7, right? So you got grip, stance, sight alignment, sight picture, breathing, trigger control, and follow through. Now I can't check all 7 of those boxes when I'm shooting really quickly, but I can break them down into 3. So I'm going to take stance and grip and put it into feel, right? So this first line is feel. That's the whole body. Is my leverage good? Is my stance good? Is my leverage and friction on my hands good? Like I'm thinking about everything. And the next one will be eyes. So the first line of eyes, because there's going to be 2, would be precision. So I need a precision sight picture, okay? When I need precision, that's why we have sights on our gun. I need that precision, whether it's at distance, back to 100 meters with a handgun or more, or whether I'm looking at hostage, worst case scenario, I need to have maximum precision. So that's what we're going to focus on with that clear front sight. In the next line, we're going to do stress sight picture, which is really how the eyes are going to start to acclimate under gunfight stress or critical response stress. You're going to start bugging out a little bit. Eyes are going to blow up, man, and you're going to be freaking moving back quick, and you're not going to really be able to get that front sight all the time. So we want to be able to train to that when it does happen to us. I mean, just watch dash cam footage of law enforcement officers of how they're just coming out with a gun and trying to get it on. And they're shooting with kinesthetics. They're shooting wildly out of control with no rhythm. So it's probably because a lot of these guys, like myself included in my past, didn't think about breaking down these things in a performance level, just like a professional athlete would. Okay, so there's your stress sight picture, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. The last one would be continuing on the trigger control. Really fine-tuning, finishing flat with the trigger, and making sure I get really deliberate practice just on that one thing. So these are designed to consciously focus on one thing at a time. Okay, we can't consciously focus on multiple things. We can subconsciously focus on multiple things. So my point with this is that if you're working on feel right now, don't think about your eyes and trigger finger. Just let those subconsciously happen, but really focus on the feel. So when I shoot, I'm going to check in with myself. Like, did that feel good? Did my hands come apart? Did my body shift, etc.? And we're going to do that all the way through these lines. Okay. So let me go ahead and start explaining the first line. So we're going to start with feel. And all these you can do at 3 yards or 3 meters. If you want to add some difficulty, move back a little bit. Okay. So with this first line, I'm just going to fire 5 rounds in the first line, so 1 in each. But you can fire as many as you want. You can put 3, you can put 5 in there. And what I'm going to try to do is aim small, miss small for that center little black dot. That's why that's also on the target. So feel. Good forward lean. I'm straight up and down. So if you looked at my head from here to center of head all the way down to my ankle, it would be pretty much a straight line. What we don't want to do is go into flexion while I'm shooting, okay? Because we've broken our core mechanics. We don't have the leverage anymore. And then if I go into extension, because we're starting to see a lot of people shooting like this now, that is not good leverage either. So you don't have good control. You may think you do, but if you want maximum performance and you went to a sports coach, they'd say, don't do that, okay? So first line, 1 round. What I'm going to do is give you guys a ditty. And our ditty is designed to help us remember things quickly, especially when it's highly complex like this. So feel is going to break down to pins. So we're breaking down our pins. And why we call it a pin, it's simple, man. Look at any tool out there that has a pin at the top of it. Crab leg breakers, nut crackers, bolt cutters, anything that's got long arms and a pin's way out front. Well, guess what this looks like? There's your pin right there. A lot of people will say tuck the trigger guard. A lot of people say palm and squeeze. A lot of people say twist the gun in like this, like you have sticks going inward. We want to be careful of those things because that's not how biomechanical efficiency works. Biomechanics is straight lines are strong, angles are weak. Okay, so straight lines are strong. So I'm going pins, friction by sealing the grip. So you can reference some of our other videos out there on grip. And then leverage. Leverage is that squeeze. That's the thing that cracks the nut or cracks the crab leg breaker or busts the bolt, the lock. So that's what we're doing here is pins, friction, leverage, and then fire. Reset, come back, break it off. Next circle, pins, friction, leverage. And take your time. Don't be in a hurry to snap the gun back. Come out slow. Pins, friction, leverage. I want to feel. And I want to feel it again after I shoot it. And then I'll reset the trigger and come back. I'm taking a long, purposeful reset so I can feel in and check in with that grip. Pins, friction, leverage. Break it off. Pins, friction, leverage. Break it off. Okay. Now what I'm looking for is in my brain, in my body, is there a path of least resistance? Was I pushing the gun a little bit? Now this is where we'll find a path of least resistance with the support hand or an elbow being down or breaking off of the gun or just being lazy. Okay. So I can check in. Even at 3 yards, I can see all that. Now what we're going to do is talk about the eyes. Okay. The first thing I want is precision sight picture on this next line. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear front sight it, okay? But we're going to add on to the ditty. So here's the ditty. Pins, friction, leverage, clear front sight, clear front sight, clear front sight. All right, now if you notice what I just did, I said clear front sight 3 times. Clear front sight to establish a sight alignment, sight picture on the target. Clear front sight to hold the sight as I press the shot. And then clear front sight to follow through on the shot that I just fired. So let's do that again. Pins, friction, leverage, clear front sight, clear front sight, clear front sight. Everything feels good. Pins, friction, leverage, clear front sight, clear front sight, clear front sight. Pins, friction, leverage, clear front sight, clear front sight, clear front sight. Okay, that was trigger control on that, so I'm diagnosing exactly what I do, even if I'm off just a little bit. Pins, friction, leverage, clear front sight, clear front sight, clear front sight. So be purposeful, be deliberate, okay? Now, next line. Stress sight picture. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, under combat stress, most of the time you're going to have a blood flow to the center field of vision. Okay, it's going to increase to where you get this, holy crap, I'm in a gunfight. And what you're going to want to focus on is the threat. So think about weapons that we had back in the day, right? Spears, rocks, swords, arrows. None of them had precision sighting systems on it, but people were incredibly accurate. Well, how were they accurate? Because of what we're about to do. Because they practiced what they do in combat. Well, today we take a handgun or a carbine and we put precision sights on it, and our minds get sucked into the sight and forget everything that we can instinctually do. So with good natural point of aim, first thing we did, good grip, good stance, you can just kind of let your eyes go a little bit. Now, what we're going to do is superimpose the sights over the top. Instead of saying clear front sight, clear front sight, clear front sight, clear front sight, you're going to say clear circle, clear circle, clear circle, clear circle. Okay, so now that allows you to keep your plane of focus down on the target, and you'll still see your sights just fine. Okay, you'll still see them sticking out just like usual. You'll still even see daylight. You'll still even see flush across the top. You'll still see your tritium if you have it. So you're still using the same exact sight picture look and feel. It's just make sure that you're focusing on the target, not on your front sight. That's it, okay? All right, here's the ditty. Pins, friction, leverage, clear circle, clear circle, clear circle. Okay, so it's basically the same as the line above. Clear circle, clear circle, clear circle. Clear circle, clear circle, clear circle. So now I'm starting to get a little loose, so I'm going to reset myself. Pins, friction, leverage, clear circle, clear circle, clear circle. And then one last time. Pins, friction, leverage, clear circle, clear circle, clear circle. Okay? Now, when you're doing this, sometimes you might get a little discouraged or disappointed in your results because you might be missing or not knocking out the center like you want to. Don't get discouraged because, like I said earlier, when you consciously focus on one thing and you have to do multiple things at the other time, so in this case, feel, and then these were subconscious, okay? Well, it might not work out the way I want to. When I eventually put them all together, that's when things are going to start happening. So that's what I'm going to do on the last line is pins, friction, leverage, clear front sight, and then what we're going to do is finish flat. I'm going to just say finish flat because with our trigger, we don't want to curl a trigger because that's how our finger naturally wants to mechanically move, which is an angle. We want straight lines. See the difference in distance from this versus this? So more distance, you're going to shoot slower, you're not going to be able to keep up. Maximize perfect movement, mechanics of your finger, and that's what I'm trying to work on here, okay? So whole ditty, pins, friction, leverage, clear front sight, finish flat. Finish flat. Now we need to make sure we hold that front sight all the way through the press. Pins, friction, leverage, clear front sight, finish flat. 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 Okay. So that's 3 chunks of information: kinesthetic alignment, rhythm, and then breaking down the feels eye finger. Okay. Now think about it. If you only had maybe a box of ammo, because we add this up, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50 rounds. That's one box of ammo. If you think about going to an indoor range like this, going out to the range, you got limited time, budget, etc. That's an awesome workout that you can get in right there with your handgun, okay? So guys, that's it on this phase. Stay tuned for more videos coming up on how to use the rest of this target. Stay sharp, be safe.